So you want something a little bit about myself. I've been told that I must talk about myself before I start talking about my book. I've been a journalist in Bombay and different parts of the world, and a few years ago I decided that I must write some books also. Everyone was writing books. I was feeling a little left out. Most of my journalism is on politics, on television, in newspapers. Most of my writing is on popular culture, society, and I presume, and I would like to think that there's a little bit of politics also creeps in. My latest book is called India Psychedelic, the story of a rocking generation. It's about growing up in the 60s and the 70s and trying to connect popular culture of the time, specifically in this case rock and roll bands, with the changes, the massive seminal changes that were happening in Indian society. Society was changing, Indian politics was changing, a new generation was born. That generation did not have much knowledge of or interest in their parents' generation or the Raj, and they wanted to find their own voice in politics, in society, in arts. And one of the devices, one of the ways out that some of them used was to ape and mimic a Western kind of approach of being independent rock musicians. And so my book talks about them. Conventionally you would call it sex, drugs and rock and roll, except that being Indian there's very little sex in it. But it's about that period. I'm very glad to see that I was convinced that this book would be quite successful with people who are of a particular vintage because of nostalgia, and I'm very surprised, pleasantly surprised to see that youngsters have been dipping into this book and saying, my God, I didn't know India was like this at the time. So that is really something heartening. So that's about my book. I am planning to work on a couple of more books, but I can't talk about them right yet. Well, part of it, the latter part of it, was lived history for me. So there was some memory and some sense of understanding of what it was like, but not all of it was. The biggest challenge I faced, and I think a lot of writers in India face, is the lack of archives and records. And that's a very, very specific challenge, and it's something that can really make or break a project. So when I went about it, when I started the simplest way, Googled a little bit of research, there's nothing on Google, there's nothing on Wikipedia. Their names didn't mean anything because these were not stars or anything like that. I mean, I was not chasing film stars. These were college students who played in a band in Delhi, in Bombay, in Bangalore, Calcutta, Madras, and as the cities were called at that time, and in all kinds of smaller towns too. There was nothing about them. Today they are, corporate types. Today they are living in some distant corner of the world. So research was my greatest challenge. Archives were my greatest challenge. And once I started making contact, the other challenge emerged. And that's something that I think all budding writers of history should know even today. There's just no photographic evidence. I know we go around taking photographs of everything. That was not the case, but even otherwise, there was just no photographic evidence. So that, to my mind, tracking down the people and tracking down research was a big challenge, and it took up a lot of my time. I would like to say that I get up at 4 in the morning and start writing, but I don't. But once I'm writing, I am writing. And that sounds very simple and trite, but that's actually a fact, that once I begin writing, I think I put in about 1,500 words a day, go back to it, relook at it, which is pretty much what most people do. Also, I write only in sequence. I can't write in the middle of a book and then go back to something. It doesn't work for me. It has to be, because my story is a little linear, not totally. It keeps going into different areas. But once I have made up my mind, it goes step by step. So I will write once I feel a chapter is more or less done, and I will add to it. But I think I have 90% of what I want to write in a chapter when I sit down to write it. Oh, where is journalism headed is one of those questions that we are examining ourselves in the media, in the profession. I'm speaking about it, I've spoken about it a lot, and I've written about it a lot. It's changing, journalism is changing drastically. It is changing because of form, content, ownership, and even in the way, in the subjects it's writing about. So journalism at one time was seen quite a lot, not totally, but quite a lot as a public service, as part of democracy, as something that you did to bring the ugly side of the country forward, to challenge the people in power. I'm afraid that is somewhat, getting diluted. It is really a worrying thought. The other changes are technological. People have begun to think that blogs are journalism. They're not. But I think digital journalism will emerge and will be very, very strong as long as it follows the basic principles of journalism, that is objectivity, fairness, balance, checking your facts and filtering anything that doesn't doesn't ring true or cannot be confirmed. And I must say this outright to anybody who's watching, a youngster: Twitter and Facebook and blogs are not journalism. They are opinions. They are not journalism. For journalism, you'll have to have certain old conventions, because they are tried and tested conventions. They will have to be in place. I'm very active on Twitter. I'm very active on Facebook. I love both of them. Like most others on Twitter with strong opinions, I get a lot of hate tweets, abusive, hateful, threatening sometimes tweets. I've been called all kinds of names, but I take that in my stride. You have strong opinions, people will love you for it, hate you for it. On Facebook too. Facebook and Twitter both have helped me also as a journalist to do research and to meet some absolutely wonderful people. I like the fact that young Tweeple, I believe they are called, come on Twitter. They have very, very robust opinions, and I have met some wonderful people on it. So I'm building up my Twitter profile, and on Facebook I'm happy to add anybody who has something to contribute to discuss.